What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Well, there's a segment I like to do on my channel. It's called What's Next. I basically take a look at certain fighters, usually off of great victories or devastating losses, and just determine with you guys what's next. Give you my outlook, my opinions. So I wanted to do an episode on Gennady Golovkin. Triple G. So tonight was supposed to be his toughest test in Matthew Macklin, a very stern, tough competitor, Irishman, very hard-headed. I told you guys Macklin is a type of opponent who is seasoned, who has a punch of his own, and he's not going to just lay down. You're going to actually have to force him to succumb or give in. And that's exactly what Gennady Golovkin did, and he did it in a tremendous fashion. Again, Gennady Golovkin, a fighter who has an extensive amateur background, yet in the pros, he's been questioned. People still want to know, people still want to see more. They felt he fought some people who just weren't fitting. They didn't really foot the bill. Um, People like Ashita, who had little knockouts and wasn't necessarily the biggest puncher. People like Gabriel Rosado, someone coming up in weight. And Matthew Macklin was supposed to be the middleweight that brought the best out of Gennady Golovkin. And arguably it did bring the best out of him, but he didn't look concerned at any point of the fight. He controlled the tempo. And right now he's looking like a monster. I've said this time and time again. I told you guys I did a video, I think it was in January. Um, it's called Fighters to Look For. And I put Gennady Golovkin on the list. And so far, so good. It looks like my early prediction seems to be turning out accurate. This guy looks like a monster. He's not the youngest fighter, but he has tremendous power. He hits like a mule. And for that reason, it's going to be a problem. It's boxing. Do I think Gennady Golovkin is invincible? No. There are still certain questions that remain unanswered. One, how well can he take a punch? Two, how does he respond to adversity? What does he do? Like if you look at great fighters like Floyd Mayweather, for example, Floyd Mayweather was getting chopped up by Zab Judah in their fight early. But Floyd being another level fighter, he was able to make adjustments and change and dictate and control the pace of the fight from the middle to late rounds and win the fight. Same thing with Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley rocked Mayweather in the second round, and he composed himself, went on to win every other round after that. Look at fighters like Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley was seriously hurt with game plan A against Ruslan Provodnikov. And what did Provodnikov do? He let off the gas and it allowed Timothy Bradley to outbox him. And Timothy Bradley switched up and he did what works better for his style. So making adjustments is huge. So far, we haven't seen anybody that can withstand the punching power of Gennady Golovkin and force him to retreat or force him to be compromised or switch from plan A to plan B. So I'd really be curious how he responds to adversity. So those are my biggest questions with Gennady Golovkin on an elite level. I mean, it's apparent that you can't feed him any journeyman. Like, that's not even going to be fair competition. I mean, he's like a freight train. He has power. He looks very comfortable and composed, and that's what the amateur background does to you. It prepares you for the different styles. And this guy looks like the real deal. I've said this also in previous videos. I think at this point he beat Sergio Martinez. I see Sergio on the decline. Gennady Golovkin is gaining momentum, gaining power, gaining strength, and he's looking more comfortable. Ultimately, I would rather see a Peter Quillen fight just because it's two undefeated fighters who are known to have a strong punch. Obviously, you would have to favor Gennady Golovkin's power in the power category because Peter Quillen's went the distance with certain fighters, whereas Gennady Golovkin seems to be lining them up and knocking them down. Um, I would really like to see that fight. I think it'll bring the best out of both fighters. Both fairly young, both have power, both have momentum and undefeated records. So I'm really looking forward to that. Um, if he gets past that, or if they do make the Sergio Martinez, which I doubt, then Gennady Golovkin's not really gonna have more to do. I mean, it's not much more he can do at his current division, so he'll probably have to move up. I would love to see a Chavez Jr. fight, someone I know is outweighs most of his opponents, someone I know has some power himself, someone I know has a chin. So I'd be anxious to see Chavez Jr. I would actually rather see Chavez Jr. versus Gennady Golovkin over Chavez Jr. versus Andre Ward, which is a fight they've been talking about. I think Andre Ward is just too skillful, too move. He'll just outbox and outwork Chavez. So I don't see that being. I see it being a one-sided fight. Where Gennady Golovkin, I'm not saying it's not going to be a one-sided fight, but Chavez Jr., like I said, he has power himself and he has a chin. It would just be an interesting matchup, and it would be very high octane, if you will. Two people who are coming with dangerous intentions, and neither one's going to back down until the other person forces them to back down. So I really like to see Gennady Golovkin versus Chavez Jr. just because of the weight differential and this freakish power that Gennady Golovkin seems to have. Another fight they're talking about, Gennady Golovkin versus Andre Ward. I would definitely like to see that. We've seen Darnell Boone drop Andre Ward. We've seen Bika. I think he gave Ward problems as well. So Andre Ward is susceptible to power. We don't really know how Triple G's power will be at a higher weight division. And it's funny because some of you fans go over the top. Like Gennady Golovkin, like I said, he seems like a monster. I take nothing away from him. But some of you guys say just retarded, asinine things. Say he'll automatically be Andre Ward. It's possible, but he hasn't even cleaned out his own division or faced the best at his division. He's on the way to do that, but he still has not done it. We have not seen that. Matthew Macklin was his biggest test, and he rose to that occasion. But he hasn't done all he can do in his own division. So before we put him at this level and say he'll knock off the number 2 ranked pound for pound guy in Andre Ward, we got to see what he does at his own division, because jumping up 8 pounds can make a difference. I'm also reading asinine comments. Someone was saying Lucas Matisse needs to fight Gennady Golovkin, and it said basically, the comment said something like Triple G has a suspect chin. I want to see him fight Lucas Matisse. Lucas Matisse fights at 140. Triple G fights at 160. It says he can go up to 168, possibly 175. That fight makes no sense. I don't think the fight would happen. Just because you have two devastating punchers in clearly different divisions, I mean, that's stupid. That's like saying Triple G should move up from 160 to 175 to fight Adonis Stevenson. I mean, I would like to see that fight, but that fight even makes more sense to me than Matisse versus, I don't know, fucking Triple G. That's just my thoughts. What do you guys think of Triple G? Is he the real deal? Do you think he has a suspect chin? Does he need to be tested more? Like I said, he's an entertaining fighter. I'm enjoying the ride. And we'll see what he's made of as he steps up his competition. But him and Abel Sanchez look really focused, really hungry. And they look like they know something that we don't know. So we shall see in due time. Let me know what you guys think. Triple G. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego, signing off.